To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day. Yeah. Everything you need to know that you never knew that you need to know. Lockhart Perspective.
I've always been a unique person, you know what I mean? Sort of laid back in a way, but very adamant and very passionate about what I believe. I think a lot of times that sort of throws people off because they don't expect me to have the mindset or the process of thought that I do. And so when you come in to watch my channel, you may hear a myriad of thoughts and ideas that could be different from others. What I want you to do is just sit back, like, share, and subscribe. Hello to all of you here. Welcome to This is Saturday Night Live. Saturday night is live. And we also have one of our kings with us, King BJ. Welcome to everyone for joining us this evening. King BJ, how you doing? You seem like you deep in thought tonight, my brother. So tell us what's going on in your mind. We name Cindy Evans. Hello, my princess. Proverb Nation, hello to you. Elevate with Vern. It's always good to see you, Princess. And Ricky Webster, thank you so much for being here. Tell us what's on your mind, King BJ, because you look deep in thought before we came online. You look real deep. You look real deep, my brother. You look deep, chocolate deep.
Well, it's tomorrow the state fair in Virginia, the last day, but it's kind of like we've been in a clown show for the last week and a half. You know something? They were showing this woman named what's this woman name?
What's the name? What's the name is?
Crockett. Her name Texas.
Okay.
The one that was saying that Biden loves his son unconditionally and all that.
Okay.
So I said, you know what? I didn't really think that much about her, you know, when I first heard about it.
Okay.
But then she was on the show with Simone Sanders. They talking about the government averting the shutdown or the nonsense, whatever. So if you go look her up, and I actually sent it to you earlier.
Okay.
She is actually in the LGBTQ caucus along with other women.
There we go.
She's in the, now check this out. They got 3 caucuses. The Congressional Black Caucus.
Okay.
Congressional Progressive Caucus. And the Congressional Equality Caucus or LGBT Caucus. They're actually one and the same.
Okay.
And she represents the 30th District of Texas. I think somewhere near Dallas or something. But it was mighty interesting. They kept on bringing her on because they were talking about what she had said this week when they were having the impeachment inquiries, which was very interesting because guess what?
What?
The top 3 so-called networks, ABC, NBC, and CBS, did not have the impeachment inquiry. They said it was a waste of time.
When there's so much evidence that shows that it's not a waste of time.
They don't want to show it on. They don't want to show the networks. But what I'm saying is, she said that the only crime that he's guilty of loving his child and conditioning. I wish. Now, I'm looking at her now, and I went and looked at it. I said, okay, she's 42 years old.
Okay.
She was in a runoff in 2020. I think she won 29% of the votes. Somebody else won 20%. And I think you got that 50% of the runoff. Matter of fact, you did.
This is Texas, right? We're talking Texas.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. I got her up here. I got her here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if you go look at her thing, you're going. All you gotta do is Google Jasmine Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett. I see her here.
She's 42 years old.
Hey, we name. Okay, got it. Elevate with Vern. Hello. Okay, go ahead. I got you.
And
Proverb
I told,
Nation
yep,
is here.
I told you she's in South Dallas County.
That's correct. I see
As
it
a
right
matter of
here.
fact, when Shaq comes on, if he's not on right now, you got to bring this back up because he's in the Dallas area.
That's correct. That's right. That's right.
So, but this woman, go down her page a little bit.
Okay, let's go
Let's
ahead
go
and
down
let's
there.
scroll. Let's scroll. Okay, so her name is Jasmine Felicia Crockett, born March 29th of 1981. She's an American lawyer and a politician who is the US representative from Texas's 30th congressional district, as King BJ just shared. And she's been that way since the top of this year, obviously, from 2023. Her district covers most of South Dallas County and parts of Tarrant County, including Dallas Love Field Airport, a member of the Democratic Party. She previously represented the 100th District in the Texas House of Representatives and the 118th Congress. Ms. Crockett serves as the Democratic freshman class representative between the House Democratic leadership and approximately 35 newly elected Democrats. Now, her early life and career, she was born in St. Louis, Missouri. She graduated from Rhodes College in 2003 with a Bachelor of Arts and in business administration. And as an undergraduate, Crockett planned to become an anesthesiologist. Well, obviously, because the majority of the left is all asleep, or certified public accountant. So she either wanted to put you to sleep or she wanted to count your bones. Either way it goes, she was planning to make you so completely numb of reality that she decided to become somebody in politics. Now, it goes on to say that before deciding to attend law school, the decision was made after she was the victim of a hate crime while attending college. She later attended the University of Houston Law Center, graduated in 2009 with a Juris Doctorate. After the law school that she attended, Crockett remained in Texas and worked as a civil rights attorney. She worked as a public defender for Bowie County. Now, I was actually working in Camp Bowie. She was from Bowie County before establishing her own law firm. During the George Floyd protest, Crockett and her associates took on the pro bono cases of several Black Lives Matters activists, which means she is a part of the establishment. Okay, what part do you want me to highlight? Because I could go ahead and
No,
rip.
no, go down, just go down like a couple more slides.
Okay,
Don't even read TikTok. Go down to her. Well, yeah, Sam
caucus
Bankman Fried
memberships.
did donate to her campaign. There you go. Caucus memberships.
Okay,
Congressional Black Caucus, Congressional Equality Caucus, and Congressional Progressive Caucus.
got it.
Now, when you go in that Congressional Equality Caucus, you're going to see all the Democrats. Not a few. Well, it might not be no Republicans. It might be one or two. But there you go.
Wow.
That's and their
Wow.
ideology is LGBTQ rights, founded in 2008. Where you had Barack Obama come in 2008. There you go
Right.
right there.
Right. Wow. Okay, so let me read that. Is that what you wanted me to highlight? That particular portion for the Congressional Equality Caucus? Is that what you wanted me to read?
Well, I was just showing you who she's with. I mean, I'm just letting you know that's what she represents.
Well, let's go ahead on and get with it. The Congressional Equality Caucus, formerly the Congressional LGBTQ plus Caucus, was formed by openly gay representatives Tammy Baldwin and Barney Frank June 4th, 2008, to advance the LGBT plus rights. The caucus is chaired by the most senior member and is co-chaired by the United States House of Representatives, current 9 of 10 openly LGBT members during the 118th Congress. The caucus is chaired by Representative Mark Pocan and is co-chaired with Representatives Becca Blant, Angie Craig, Sharice Davids, Robert Garcia, Chris Pappas, Mark Pocan, Eric Sorensen, and Mark Takano, as well as Richie Torres. With 195 members, the Congressional Equality Caucus became the largest caucus during the 118th United States Congress session. Now, their mission is for the Congress or that particular caucus to work with LGBTQ rights, the repeal of laws discriminatory against LGBT persons, the elimination of hate motivated violence, and improved health and well being for all persons, regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression. The caucus serves as a resource for members of Congress, their staffs, and the public on LGBTQ issues. Unlike the Congressional Black Caucus, famous for admitting only Black members, the LGBTQ Equality Caucus admits any member who is willing to advance the LGBTQ rights, regardless of their sexual identity or orientation. It has been historically co chaired by every openly LGBTQ member of the House. Wow. That speaks volumes as to where a lot of the laws are coming from, because if you consider that the only people who write law is Congress, that speaks volumes. One Peaches 41, hello, I love you. Thin Blue Line Soldier, hello, how are you? Good to see you here. And Joy Trujillo, always good to see you, sister. Shalom again to you, we name. So now, what I've been saying over the past couple of months as we've all been meeting here for the Saturday Night is Live is that I just find it amazing how many of our faces they're using to push an agenda. However, what we have discovered is that there are a lot of people who may have our skin tone, but are not necessarily from this land, if that makes any sense. You find a lot of people that they're using to push propaganda all the way back from W.E.B. Du Bois, right? E.B. Du Bois, right? You find a lot of people like that who are not necessarily from here, okay? Who had another agenda, who were paid for to be trained and to be given all their information from Nazis there in Germany. We find that, and that this is something that is not a secret. And what I'm saying is not, it doesn't need a flag. It doesn't need anybody to post anything to say that it's opposite of that. These are the things that we found, that a lot of people were paid to go to universities abroad. They were trained in Marxism. And after they were trained in Marxism, they were then unleashed on those who thought that they were us, because they believed, and by they I mean the people of yesterday, believed that all skin folk were kinfolk. Now, I don't know where this chick comes from, but I do know that it is an amazing amount of people who are of this particular persuasion who are now being used against us, regular Americans who were born here on this land, and even those that they have, sort of mishmashed around to include those that are proponents of the now seated vice president. And what say you, King BJ?
Well, it's showing you that the board of the Equality Caucus, Equality PAC, voted to endorse Hillary Clinton in 2016 presidential election. You know why that is. But,
Mm-hmm.
but, and actually lying about that, the Black Caucus only accepts Black members because Tim Scott and Brian Donalds weren't invited to the party.
Mm.
So that's
Good point.
so they need to
Good
say
point.
no conservatives,
They
but they weren't invited to the party.
weren't invited to the party. Why do you think that is?
Uh, they're not they're not on the same wavelength.
Mm-hmm.
But not as far as that issue anyway.
Mm.
So, but when I looked at it, I said, I got to talk. I wanted to bring this up to Shaq when he comes on, because I said
Mm-hmm.
this woman is right down there where he's at,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, he
and
is.
she was on Simone Sanders' show today. And like I
Really?
said, usually if I see you one time, I'd be like, they just picked her up because she was the loudest voice in the room that day. They were trying to make her, give her some street cred, I guess.
Okay.
But then she was on the news today, so I know that she's going to be used more vividly. She's a freshman. She's basically been in Congress for 2 or 3 years. She hasn't been there that long.
Okay. You think she's got to pay some dues?
I mean, maybe, but she's not been there that long.
Okay.
She just got voted in last year.
Okay.
Again. And so she represents 3rd district. So I just know that she's right there in Texas. And so it's kind of weird, man, because it's not to show these Democrats from Texas, but Texas is a I think Texas has a constitutional carry. You don't even have to have a concealed weapon permit to carry in Texas.
Okay, that's true. I lived there for several years, and I
So,
realized that. Yeah.
so I mean, Texas. Some of these people in Texas ain't really going for this clown show. They running.
Doc Boss, peace, peace.
So I kind of like just thought about this. Now let me bring up something. This is not really veering off, but it's kind of like yesterday
Okay.
when now the big news yesterday was what? Dianne Feinstein died, right?
Oh boy. I'm doing a whole show on Dianne Feinstein that has nothing to do with any other topic because I've got so many things to talk about as to what it was she was about. But
Now
yes, sir, you're absolutely right.
she died, but they threw for the white folks they threw out Dianne Feinstein. For us, they gave us some guy that they say that was collecting Tupac or something like that, right?
Yeah, out of
But
Compton.
but what I'm saying, when I heard this woman speak, I said, and I saw her again, they were talking about a government shutdown. And I said, let me go do some looking into this woman because they kept bringing up and they kept bringing up and they kept bringing her up. And they were talking about she's the new star. I'm like, well, she the new star. And Felicia, they always tell you, stars are made, not born. You're not a star when you're born. You got to be made a star. And they trying to make her a
Mm.
star.
Hmm. So what do you think they're trying to do?
Trying to give her some street credit.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then
But
where
to
are we
me, she
going
was
next?
loud. She was a typical um you can play the video what she said. But she's just typical, I mean, just typical feminist, let's put it like that.
And so the typical feminists have been, for the most part, used against all of the Americans because, for whatever reason, I feel, and you let me know what you think about this, that they've used the typical feminists against regular mainstream people, just like regular folks, just like you, especially men. I mean, you guys, I have to be honest and tell you, you guys really honestly take the brunt of a lot of the abuse. Frank, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're glad to see you. So happy to have you here with us this evening. What do you say, Frank,
Hey,
about hey, what do you say about the whole thing of them using the typical feminists against regular men? Because I've noticed it. Shaq is joining us now. Hey, Shaq, how you doing? I'm so glad to have all of my brothers here with me this evening. My brother's sons. These are my brother's sons.
hey, peace,
Um,
peace, good
so
people.
peace, peace, Shaq. So what do you think, Frank? What do you think about them using the feminist, especially the black feminists, quote unquote black feminists, against men?
I mean, we used to it. We went through it with Oprah, Ricky Lake, and what's the other one? Jenny Jones. And
Yeah.
the '90s, they did the whole thing in the '90s on us. You know, the whole thing. They the whole baby daddy thing and the deadbeat thing, and they've been doing this for a while, man. This psychological operations on us. Um, But they got our women, man, like the feminists with it. They be having they're their attack dogs or something, you know. So they're quick to just go against the grain, man, and go, with us and stuff like that, man. I think that's that conditioning that they had in the late '60s, '70s, man, with the you know Gloria Steinem kind of thing, man, with the secret agent, Gloria Steinem, CIA operative. So it's crazy, man, because it's just like I mean, I don't think this. Like I said, that's their attack dog, man. And they're gonna go against us, with impunity, man, and go, and fight for them, man. Which is really crazy, man. But I mean, in certain topics too, I know there's certain topics that triggers that too. As long as what I'm saying, this superior class, whatever. I mean, inferior class. You see what I'm saying? Does assess something, what I'm saying, and wants them to attack. They're gonna attack, man. They're gonna do it. at the drop of a hat. It's crazy, man. But I mean, I don't call them my sisters, man. I don't. That's just some perpetrators. That's how I look at it. But yeah, um, and that's Karl Marx thing too, man. I know he pushed the feminist thing
We
too.
got it on the screen right now. You just said his name, and it's the Marxist feminism theory. Here is the problem. When we're talking about people who look like us that are attaching themselves to this particular theory, this theory originally was aimed at one particular target, and I believe that the preponderance of those who look like you, King BJ, and Shaq and myself were sort of caught in the net, which is really what they were aiming for. They were looking at the net effect, and with that in mind, it was not necessarily, planned for one particular group. It didn't matter who actually got caught in the net because they felt like whoever got caught in the net, it was necessary to take over as a whole. Marxist feminism, okay, and that it is capitalism, not men who oppress women. They see the family as oppressing women while supporting capitalism in three ways. This is the important thing to understand. And this is the part that I don't think a lot of dodo birds get a hold of from our culture. And yet our culture as a whole is suffering from this particular ideology.
Sexy
Now,
Red.
go ahead.
Sexy Red. She counts in it.
See, Sexy Red to me is a plant. I
That's
don't
right.
find her talent, and a lot of people may not even know who Sexy Red is, but we do. Cindy does. Other people in the chat do. But the deal with Sexy Red is the fact that she just came out of nowhere. And whenever people come out of nowhere with a large enough vote or a large enough voice to pull the people who run the NFL, you got to side eye them,
And college
especially
football now.
and college football, because what she's out there to do, she's actually, and I don't even know whether she knows it or not, maybe she does, but she's literally a useful idiot, and in tandem with being a useful idiot, she's actually a tool. She's a tool in the belt of the frameworkers of what they're doing. So here's some key takeaways with regards to Marxist feminists. Now, Marxist feminists see the family as a tool of capitalism, and that is capitalism, not men who oppress them. The second bullet point says that they see the family as oppressing women while supporting capitalism in three ways. Funny, I never saw raising my children something that came out of my body as a problem. But then again, I may be just cut from a different cloth. Under this, it says women reproduce the workforce and socialize them into a social hierarchy. Number two, women absorb the anger of men who are frustrated by their alienation and exploitation. This is considered the cushioning effect. Number three, women are a reserve army of cheap labor that can be activated when they are needed and let go when they are no longer needed. I'm going to
Hmm.
say something. I'm going to say something. That is exactly where the preponderance of a lot of these women, especially those that look like us, are headed. They do not understand that they are being used as a tool. And when they are done and when the use for them are done, they're going to be dropped like a bad habit and they're going to be on to the next person
Oh,
that
they
they need
already
to
have.
conquer. That they need to conquer. Do you agree with that?
Yes, because you know something?
What?
You're exactly right. Because they're going doing the scamdemic.
Okay.
Daggone, a lot of these women were let go from their jobs, still not
Oh yeah.
recovered. A lot of them are going homeless. They late on the rent. There a lot of things went down. It's still going on.
Let me ask you this. Do you agree that even women who were not a part of the Marxist feminist rule or run on the society have been caught up in that?
Yes. And I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
you why. And you talking about capitalism. Let me tell you something. I didn't even send it to you, but I sent it to
Go ahead.
Shaq earlier
Go
and
ahead.
Frank.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm
So
gonna come off the screen and let you have it. Go ahead.
so earlier today, Frank, and I know Frank will get a laugh out of this. I sent it to him and Shaq really. So I was out today. And I said, dang, this is an old skate land I used to go to buy and stuff, hang out at, you know. skating rink. Well, they done turned this place into a beautiful place. That's what's called beautiful. And they got I think Asians, I remember Asians running now. And they had a sign out there, buy one bundle of hair, get one free. Yeah. Like
Oh
seriously.
Lord of mercy.
Yeah, like they actually had it. And I'm like sitting there thinking to myself, I said, now what did it? And I talked to Frank. Frank, didn't I call you and said this used to be a skating ring where I used to hang out as a kid, right?
Yeah.
I used to go to the skating ring every week. They done changed, they even got a big like a I guess like a big limousine truck or something where I think they even bring the hair to you. I said, dang, this got crazy. But they say buy one bundle, get one free. And I rode by and I said, all them people going there. So what I'm saying, they're saying that they view capitalism as an enemy, not men. But feminism, the actual market, is a superior form of capitalism to me, because one thing, you can get people to hate themselves. One, two, you can also look at these high expensive products people went. Let me tell you something. I'm just saying, not all, some men do it too. But what I'm saying is, when I look at this thing now, what is the average price of a new car today? A new car might cost you 40,000 to 50,000 to 60,000, depending on what you do, what you get, right? I see, and I always have with this with car dealers. They did it to my mom. They did it to people I know.
Mm-hmm.
They always will say, I know women that do get oil changes, men go get oil changes too.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is, back then you had a guy that you knew to go get a oil change from. You didn't go to the dealer like that. The dealer
Facts.
really made more money off this now, because what I'm saying, like, I had one woman I know, she, matter of fact, guess what? She was from St. Louis, same place as this chick. But nevertheless, she, one time she wanted to ask me, she said she needs somebody working her car or something like that, change some brakes or something. And I said, well, I get the guy to change the brakes for you, get one of our buddies to do it. She was like, is he a professional? I'm like, it ain't that hard to change some brakes, But nevertheless, she went ahead and dealer paid like $300, $400 to get it done. So, because she said, I just like professional people to do my stuff. I don't want nobody, off the street. But he is an actual mechanic, because he actually works at a shop, but he does his stuff on the side.
Okay.
But, even with these gas guys, True Green Lawn Care, and all these other, a lot of these industries that we got now, they profit all women. Let's just be honest. I mean, you
That's
ain't
true.
you ain't got
because my husband can change our oil, but if he's not in town and he's over the road, I'll have to go someplace and have it done. So you're absolutely right in your assessment.
Yeah. But I'm saying, but you have a husband. But I'm saying some of these women ain't married, ain't trying to be married. And guess what? Not only that, they are getting what I call Audis, BMWs,
yes,
things like that. You got a $700 car note, then you got to get the maintenance, right?
That's facts. I had a BMW, so you're right in my lane. I know just what you mean.
And I'm saying that if you want it, buy it, but you have to make sure. And this is where the spending limit comes out, because they keep on talking about, credit card debt is tremendous. The credit card debt is about to fall off a cliff.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But what I'm saying, that we have a lot of things that go on, and I'm saying these agencies and corporations, they profit off of feminism heavily, because they know that's a market, because you don't get them. Every woman ain't going there and cutting their grass, and some are. But I know women who don't even send their own sons to come out there, and they got a willing body at home, a little son, daggone, he playing video game. They calling, you paying what, $200 a month for a lawn service? I mean, that's the thing. But it
You
is.
ain't lying. You're not lying. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But
I'm
these
gonna
are
let you cook. Go
the
ahead.
human mind. Really, the got so crazy. And then check this out. I mean, now back then, like I said, you had these people, but feminism, really, to me, is actually a superior form of capitalism because you're able to tap into another market of people that, I mean, let's just face it. I mean, they shopping. Now, I mean, what do I consider shopping? See, sometimes people have an idea what they're going to get. And sometimes when I use the word shopping, people just say, I'm shopping. I'm just buying what I like. Well, you know, buying what you like is nice, but that might not get you nowhere. It's about buying what you need. And if you are thinking about shopping it with the economy right now, the way it is, you're saying, man, because this thing about to fall off a cliff and this economy going to hell in a handbasket.
You're not lying. You're not lying. Welcome, Zeb. Welcome, Doc Boss, Joy Trujillo, as well as Thin Blue Line Soldier. I want to welcome you. One Peaches 41. Mwah. I love you. I love Cindy. I love all of you guys. Thank you for being here. You are absolutely right. They are falling off the cliff. So let me ask you this. Where does it end with your bebop hat on? Where does it end? Does it end at all?
If it get cold is when it might have to.
Well, One Peaches 41 has a question. She says, off the topic, so forgive me, but after hearing those LBGABC letters over and over again, I wonder, what is the numerical equivalent of those letters? Just a thought. She's a deep thinker and she's absolutely right. You know what? We better look that up because as we look into gematria, each one of those letters, as
Well,
she just stated, are very pivotal. What does anybody
wait
else
a
have
minute.
to say as well? Go
I,
ahead.
I want one thing to say about that.
Come on now.
I'm glad you said that. Me and Frank did a little test earlier. Remember we were talking about the football player with the commercial earlier, talking about Taylor Swift?
Yep.
We went up and looked Taylor Swift age up. She's 33, and guess how old he is?
How
33.
old?
33.
Wow. So
Six,
Joy
six.
Trujillo just said 666.
Yep, that's what I'm about to say with that too. The LGBTQ caucus 666. But daggone that, they look. That's what I'm about to say too, because it all adds up to that. But I wanted to, but since Chaq is here, let me bring up Chaq, the woman that we were talking about earlier, and I wanted to point this out to Chaq. That woman that I told you about that was defending Joe Biden, she actually is out there in the Dallas area with you, and she's from St. Louis, Missouri. Go figure. And she's on the LGBTQ caucus. This is the
Come on,
30th
Shaq. Tell us
congressional
what you
district of
know.
Dallas. I mean,
Tell us
of
what you
Texas.
know. Shaq. Tell us what you know. Give up the goods.
I speaking no dingbat. I speaking no dingbat.
You speaking no dingbat.
I speaking no dingbat.
Hey, Felicia, if you
What?
don't mind, I don't think Shaq's seen the video. Can you? The video probably ain't but a minute for too long. They just showing her
I
talking.
see
Let him see the video.
dingbat. Yeah, she go on the dingbat.
Is this the woman that's got the really bad weave? When you
Yeah,
talk
that's
about
her. That's her.
I'm sorry, but girlfriend's weave was whooped. I looked at that chick talking. I was like, really, sis? Why you got to come out with a bad weave? You got a boatload of money. You know you done signed off on a couple of people's deals that you done promised to
Damn.
deal with. Your weave is whooped. Let me pull
What's her
this
name
chick
again?
up. Her
Jasmine
name
Crockett.
is
She's in Dallas County. She's from St. Louis,
Hold on.
Missouri.
Crockett. It's Crockett. Is that the
You
one
said
you talking
Jasmine
about?
Crockett?
Mm-hmm. And she's
Okay.
on the LGBTQ caucus. Matter of fact, she's on
Okay.
Progressive Caucus, LGBT caucus, and Black Caucus. She on
Is
three
she
caucus.
She's LGBT as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's go ahead and pull her up. Let's get some video images of her here because I do remember just recently she was the one that was really going in and grilling people with regards to, you know, how she felt like this cat that's not gonna do nothing but drop her like a bad habit was being run a rail. He was being run amok. Let's see. It was a video that she had. Okay, let's see. Crockett. There she is with that uber bad weave. I mean, it was like really.
Dr. Schultz is saying that.
Oh, it was so bad. I was like, but why? It's not necessary. Listen, I know girls in the hood that can hook a sister up better than this. This weave was looking like something that was put on the top of James Brown back in the day, but it was James Brown. Oh, wow. Let me just look at it. She was on President Biden defending. He was actually defending his son, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, she was.
Okay, defending what's his first name? What's that boy's name? Bert Simpson. What's his name? What is his
Hunter
name?
Biden.
Hunter Biden. Okay, she was defunding. She was defending Hunter Biden. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. She was defending him. Look at this. Tell me if I'm not wrong. I know I ain't crazy. I've been in here for too long. For too long. And here she go on the Huffington Post. And of course, people from the Huffington Post would say that she looks outstanding. And here we go. They're gonna say, "You go, girl. You
Damn.
go, girl."
That's what women
With
were
her
saying
Don.
the other day. I heard
Joy
women talk
Trujillo
about it.
said, "Her Don King do."
That's hilarious, man.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's go. Let's see it. Let's get it. All right, let's see. Let's see. It says the Democrats clown GOP. Let me see if we can start it. Let's go back a little bit because the weave was just it was actually talking before she
I know a
could.
disaster when I see one.
Commentary, and that's it. We're not trying to get their music. And do not strike my channel because I'm showing this. We are using this specifically under the legal guise of commentary. We are using it for education. We are using it for the individuals who do not know about this particular woman with the bad James Brown weave. Having said that, having said that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shroud the sound because I don't need to be hit for something as minor as this. Okay. So after two key witnesses called by the GOP said there wasn't currently enough evidence to impeach, there most assuredly is evidence to impeach. What are we doing? What are we doing? We're going after a man who's no longer in office and look at that wiggle. Look at that. As a cosmetologist and as a fellow sister, I'm here to tell you that hairdo is done. Anyway, we're not going to trip on the hairdo. We're just going to go. I'm sorry. I don't care. I know a lot of people say, Felicia, you're wrong for talking about the sister's hairdo.
And what does Professor Turley say? It says everything we know at this juncture doesn't rise to the level of impeachment. Boy, that is awkward. It's like political impeachment malpractice.
Listen, you guys, hit that down below right there. There's $1. You can hit that channel $1. Hit it. Because what's going to happen is because of this music in the background, believe it or not, I will not be monetized for this video. I promise. They're going to hit me because of those little bells. So if you got $1 on a checking account, a Cash App or something, hit it. Look at that. Bad skin and a wiglet. Representative Jasmine Crockett may have stolen the show. Here she goes. Hit it. Hit it.
Yes, I've been taking a tally.
Oh, okay. Can you show us? Can you show us what the tally is?
More than I've been taking a tally.
Oh.
Representative Jasmine Crockett
Have you
may have
ever
stolen
heard
the
them
show.
say if since we've been sitting here for I don't know how long?
Yes, I've been taking a tally.
Oh, okay. Can you show us? Can you show us what the tally is?
More than 35 times, the Republican witnesses and Republican members of the committee have used the word if.
Thank you so much for that. Because honestly, if they would continue to say if or Hunter and we were playing a drinking game, I would be drunk by now. What is the crime? Because when you're talking about impeachment, you're talking about high crimes or misdemeanors. And I can't seem to find the crime. And honestly, no one has testified of what crime they believe the president of the United States has committed. But when we start talking about things that look like evidence, they want to act like they blind. They don't know what this is. These are our national secrets. Looks like in the shirt to me.
Lord have mercy. This polo baby does not understand that she is being used. She
You
is being
understand?
News. Go
No,
ahead.
no, 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 no.
I
You're
don't want.
not
I
that
don't want
easy.
to let into. If I let
Yeah.
into her on this podcast tonight, people are gonna brandish me and say that, oh, look at her, she's being used as a weapon against the black women. I'm gonna be quiet and let you gentlemen have at it.
Yeah, yeah. Let me get in here, man. Let me
Wait a
tag
minute.
team.
Cindy Evans says she's disgracing African American women ghetto,
Mm.
and we all know that's a bad weave. Go ahead, go ahead, y'all. Go ahead. Cindy ain't lying. Go ahead, she ain't
She
lying.
was cussing
And
too,
another
but
person
it's
ain't
funny.
lying is One Peaches 41. All a part of the process destroying the positions of the earthly family that is in the likeness of the Holy Family. The 200 that fell on the mountain vowed to attempt to destroy God's creation. Go ahead, girl. Then she continues with, I think her new growth was sweating under that wig, but we digress. Go ahead, y'all.
Oh,
That's my sisters. Those are my sisters. Okay, y'all
Oh
go.
man. Mm.
let Shaq go. She in
Yeah,
the state. Let Shaq go. She in
man.
Texas.
I didn't know she was in the state, so I looked it up,
She
man.
in
Like,
Dallas, matter of fact.
right, South Dallas. So that's common. Democrat. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Mm.
Okay, well, what else do you know about this sister?
I
Is
don't know nothing
she
about her. That's what I'm saying.
Did she
is
tell
A
you
she
lot of
about
these
her?
ones was coming out the
I brought him to
woodwork.
her the other day.
Is
To him
she
the other day.
Haitian? And here's the reason why I'm saying it, because you
Gotta
all
be
know, you
or
guys all know,
something.
Shaq said she got to be. This is the reason why I'm saying this, because you all know that while we were on our conference calls together for the show, which we do from time to time, we all mentioned people who were not from here that were used against the American people, to include those who look like us, who are not from here, that they groomed from childhood to be on the stage and the platform that they are now. Somebody that she looks like with a wig, I ain't gonna say it, and you ain't heard it from me, but I'm gonna come right out. Here's my face. She looks a lot like that mayor in New York.
Mm.
Oh. Hey yo, that's funny. But hey, look, she does have a weave on. You can tell that. But I thought about it when they said she was with she did work for Black Lives Matter. And matter of fact,
All those chicks look like they
you know
from
what?
Haiti to me, like they
But
were
look,
abducted from Haiti and promised a better
Mm.
life. Every
but
single one of
she
them chicks.
but she
None
that
of
was
them
in
look
St.
like
Louis,
they from
Missouri.
us.
But that's
That's true.
that's to me. But I realized that she also got $1 million from that Sam Bankman Fried guy. Remember that guy? That's who gave her some money. He
Oh,
donated
see,
money
I
to her
didn't know
back.
that. I did not know that.
It's in there.
I didn't know she had gotten all that money.
She
And
got
that in
she
and
gave
of
her $1 million
itself,
for her campaign.
if even possible, the very elect will be deceived. That's facts, sis. Facts. And she's absolutely right. She said if it were possible, the very elect would be deceived. But see, now, as I keep saying over and over again, people were running with the word apocalyptic and apocalypse, and this is the time of apocalypse, the age of Aquarius, where people and enlightenment and truth is coming forward. And so we're not going to be so easily persuaded by somebody who looks like, W.E.D. Du Bois and Frank Nitty's boy. What's his name, Frank? Homeboy that was many years ago. What was the cat's name we did some research on? The dark-skinned dude. He has elementary schools named after him here in the United States now.
You talking Marcus Garvey? No, huh?
Marcus Garvey.
Oh yeah,
Those folks ain't us.
that's
They
true.
never gonna let us be a mouthpiece for us, because if we did,
Mm.
we'd free up too many people, to include the folks that don't look like us, the folks who are a little lighter in shade. We're gonna free
Mm.
them up. Why? Because we speak for truth. That's the reason why none of our heroes were appointed or chosen by us, because we all know what Mr. Pike
Well,
said. If they ever need a hero, we gonna supply it. Was that Pike or Pulaski, Frank? I think that was Pike, wasn't it?
Albert Pike.
Yeah. If they ever need a hero, we gonna be the one to supply them that hero.
He was also a 33-degree Mason, and he made up the Klan. Or
Okay,
he made,
so there you
so
go. These folk ain't us. And I'm glad we having these conversations, because it allows people to see that there are people who think like normal people from the United States that think normal.
Let me,
I
let
don't
me,
know where she from, but she don't look like us.
let me bring up something. I want to make a little correction. It's
Come
not a
on, come
correction.
on, come on.
It's more of Crockett received extensive finance support from super PACs along with the cryptocurrency industry. With Sam Bankman-Fried's Protect Our Future PAC giving $1 million in support for her campaign. In the Democratic primary election, Crockett and Jane Hope Hamilton, an aide to Mark Veazey, advanced to a runoff election, which Crockett won. She then won in general election on November 8. She was chosen to be the 118th Congress freshman member's representative.
Now, let me add something to that. How long does it take for a bachelor's degree?
4 years minimum. 4 years
Minimum
maximum.
4?
It shouldn't take you any more than 4 years to complete it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at it. No, it says she graduated from Rhodes College with a bachelor's degree in
2013.
arts and business administrative.
In 13, right?
Yeah,
2013.
it says she was born in St. Louis, Missouri. They don't say nothing about the high school. So if she's 42, that means she graduated the year I graduated in 2000, right? Unless she took some pre-AP classes, you know what I'm saying, and got out of school early.
And Frank,
So how the hell you get a bachelor's degree in 2003 if you graduated in 2000?
She ain't
I
married.
don't know.
She
Maybe
ain't
I'm
married.
tripping.
She ain't got no children. I'm just telling you.
Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe she's excellent in school. You know, she's an excellent. You know what I'm saying, and you know, very high intelligent in the arts.
Corey Bush was St. Louis too. So they say.
Wow. Go figure. Corey Bush. Did you guys just see what they had on Corey Bush not long? Just recently, a couple of weeks ago, I think King BJ may have sent it to me. I wish that I had forwarded it to myself. But do you remember what I'm talking about? Something that they were showing on Corey Bush just recently?
I can tell you one thing about Corey Bush. I know when she was running.
What?
Corey Bush, daggone tried to daggone find a way that if you got caught with a man that was a tranny, if you killed him, daggone, that would be a crime.
Even if homeboy didn't tell you?
Yeah.
Wow.
She tried to pass legislation for that in 2020.
No, you didn't say she.
Well, you know, she is skeptical. But they say she a nurse, she had 3 children. She protesting in Ferguson.
You talking about Corey Bush, the dude?
Yeah, Corey Bush. Hey, it does look like a
y'all
dude,
better
though.
get your boy.
It do look like a dude, though. But
you better get your boy. You know who else look like
Corey
a dude?
Booker was in pink booty shorts. Yeah, him. Yeah.
What the hell?
Looking like, but you gotta be aware of Corey Booker, because Corey Booker family, they worked at IBM, and if you know the history of IBM.
Yeah. Okay. Enough said. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Well, what else do you guys have to bring to the table tonight? Who else wants to present their particular topic, whatever that may be? We want to pull it up. You can just throw it out there. We'll go ahead and pull up the topic to include those who may be in the chat that want us to discuss a specific topic. Now, I will say this. If we're not well versed on it, we will not tackle it tonight, but we most assuredly will tackle it next Saturday. Lord say the same and the creek don't rise. Now, listen, you guys want to support the channel. There's a couple of people here who do not want to be named that do support the channel and do support the work here. And I want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, thank you so very much. If you choose to do it, there's something called a super chat or a super sticker. You can look down below right there where you're able to put in your comment and click that dollar. You can put as little as $1. It doesn't matter how much you push. It supports the channel and it lets us know, as well as YouTube know, that you want more information like this, the blatant conversations that we're having, the very pure, unadulterated conversations. Because here's the thing you guys don't know. The only thing that we discuss prior to coming on the air is bring your topic, right? Bring your topic, be able to substantiate your views and how you feel about what it is that you believe in. That's it. That's all we ask. Be able to bring a topic, substantiate the view, substantiate the argument, and tell us why you believe what you believe. That's it. So everyone that's here tonight, they're bringing their topics. Chaq or Frank, do you guys have anything that you guys want to throw into the bullpen tonight?
Man, it's I kind of got a couple, but I'll do this first one. This immigration thing, man, it's getting out of hand with these migrants, man, and you know what I'm saying. These migrants in Chicago, or a couple, 3 days ago, whatever, 4 days ago, they had some black women speaking on it, man, and they was going in on I think it was New York. It was the city councilman. I forget his name. The dude. They were going in on him though. They was going in on him. Man, them sisters was grilling on him. But I mean, it's getting real bad, man. It's getting hectic out there, man. New York and in Chicago, man. It's getting to the point where it's just like they just, you know, they're really I guess they trying to you know, they were camping out or whatever. So I guess they issued them into some shelters or whatever. But I guess Eric Adams, from what I heard, he was just trying to kick the men out. You see what I'm saying? The men out of the shelters, man. He was trying to get them out. You see what I'm saying?
But don't you find it very curious that
flooding
he
in
would
New York.
want to go on ahead and try to kick out the men when he knows good and well that they're only allowing the men? Because any of us can look at the panned cameras, which after we say this right now, they're going to make sure that they don't show any more panned cameras because we know they listen to us, even though they pull the channel back and even though they prevent most from people from listening, they're going to listen and we're not going to see any more panned camera views. They're going to make sure they stick a couple of kids from stock options in there, from stock photos or whatnot. But here it is.
Town with some reaction, Andrew.
Yeah, Natalie, part of the reason for these flyers is that the volume of buses arriving at city intake centers like the one behind me is actually increasing, not decreasing. So as a result, City Hall trying to get the word out to the asylum seekers themselves. As yet another bus arrived today at the city's main intake center for asylum seekers on East 45th Street. City Hall is now circulating a new flyer designed to discourage further arrivals.
There are people in our shelters who are telling their family members to come to New York City and that they'll get housing and that they'll be able to stay with them.
So this flyer stating city resources have been exhausted, which few would dispute. But it also claims New York City cannot help you obtain a work permit, which may be stretching facts.
We have to be truthful about the challenges that New York City faces in providing adequate services for such a high number of migrants without embellishing anything.
Council Speaker Adrian Adams said it's one thing for the city to shift its tone, understandably, from last year when the mayor greeted asylum seekers with open arms.
We got you. We're going to provide the services you need.
To this month when the mayor said of
that was her behind him
pace of more than 100,000 arrivals.
This issue will destroy New York City.
But the speaker said city outreach teams are helping connect migrants to housing opportunities and jobs when possible.
There really is no need to embellish an issue that I think right now the nation sees.
And Governor Kathy Hochul today said the White House has teamed up with the city and state to process the estimated 15,000 job seekers who arrived from Venezuela before July 31st and will get temporary protected status. The governor's worry, a federal shutdown could undo that progress.
It's going to stop our ability to get people out of the shelters, which is exactly what President Biden was trying to do.
As for those flyers, the mayor's office says they...
Okay, so I want to bring this to you guys, to your attention, that there was a migrant there in New York that decided to use the law to push a specific agenda. And that agenda was, we don't want to stay here. We want more space. And so because we want more space, we're going to put our daughter or our child up to do X. So that way we could get the help that we need. So I'm going to bring this to you because to me, this is absolutely ridiculous, but this is what's going on. I don't know why they're expecting people to believe everything that's said, but the New York migrant family lied about a girl getting molested in an attempt to get a larger shelter room. The migrant man accused of sexually assaulting a 7-year-old girl at a hotel at a Queens hotel was released from police custody after investigators determined at least one relative coached the child, the girl, to make up the story in an attempt to get a larger room at a shelter, a senior law enforcement told the Post on Friday. Now, the 34-year-old man was cut loose after investigators determined that the family rehearsed the sick story of the victim and her twin sister, hoping to incriminate their fellow residents so they could take over his room at the Hotel Mint JFK Airport in Far Rockaway, according to a source. The initial police report indicated that the sisters were playing in the hallway around 9:30 p.m. on Wednesday. First off, what mindful parent would allow their children to play at 9:30 p.m. in a hallway? Shouldn't they have already been bathed? Shouldn't they have already been fed? Shouldn't they have already been in the bed by 9:30 just to keep your own mind and your own sense of peace? Yes, is the answer from a woman who's raised several kids to include a couple of grandchildren. But I digress. The story goes on to say Wednesday, a man convinced them to follow him to a room on the second floor. So not only are these kids playing in an area that they should not be in, they were cajoled, convinced, told to come by a stranger to a room on a second floor, according to sources. Police were told that the man then placed a knife against the neck of one of the girls and touched her private area. When the twins' mother knocked on the door, how did she know that they were in the room with the man? Why was your kids, mama, playing in the hallway? Anybody? Anybody? I'll hold. Okay, nobody. Let's continue. Goes on to say that not only was the mama knocking on the door, when the twins' mother knocked on the door, the man jumped out the window, according to the initial account. Let me just jump out this window because I don't want nobody to get me. The man accused of assault then walked back into the building through the lobby where he got into a fight with the youngster's older brother. Cops broke up the brawl and cuffed the then suspect child molester, according to the initial narrative, and the twins told the same story both to patrol officers and detectives from the Special Victims Unit who found their account seemed very rehearsed, the source said. The suspect denied the allegations, prompting investigators to track his phone, determining he was elsewhere when the alleged incident took place, according to the insider. Video surveillance indicated that the suspect left the shelter around 5:30 a.m. Wednesday, and he didn't return until 11:20 p.m., about 2 hours after the alleged crime, the source said. The footage reportedly shows no one entering or leaving the room during that period. An interview with the man's wife also corroborated those findings, sources said. The man was then released from custody. Now, excuse me, sources confirmed on Friday that a fight did in fact ensue between the accused man and a relative of the twins over the room assignment. A hotel employee who was not on duty when the incident occurred said the accused migrant or illegal alien had been there for 20 days and never makes an issue. The other family moved in after he did, he added. Quote, I don't know why you should accuse someone I don't know why you should accuse someone, and then it goes on to say that's really a bad thing to do to a child. But to accuse someone of that, I don't know why you should accuse someone, the worker said. All right, so there apparently is allegedly one of the children, the mother. All right, there you go. A young married couple from Venezuela told the Post on Thursday that they heard some commotion the night of the incident, but did not know what was going on. And here's the final quote. Last night, there was shouting, fighting outside. A man was shouting at another man in the front of the lobby door, but we went inside and locked the door, the woman told the Post, adding that there were many children staying there, and she didn't know the people involved. The couple was previously staying at a different shelter, but relocated when the rowdy conditions got out of hand, though their new location hasn't been much of an improvement, the husband said. So now you come from a place where you seek an asylum, okay? And they put you in this particular hotel, right? But you don't want to share with anybody. You want to make sure that it's all you. That's it. You just want another space. This, to me, speaks volumes about the greed of the individuals who are there. That's it. It speaks volumes about the greed to the people that's there. Here's some more stuff. It says, it is wild here, the man said as he pointed inside at the shelter before. There was trouble every night. We moved here because I complained about the shelter. It was not safe. I could not sleep. You could not sleep, and yet you was walking across several different countries, several different borders to land in New York. This is wild, and there is trouble. I do not let my wife walk without me. Well, brother, you got it on the mark because there's a lot of black and white folk that'll let their wife walk all times of the night. Go on to the store. You can go ahead and get what you need. You got to go to work tomorrow. Go ahead and put the gas in the car. Now, I'm going to tell you guys right now, men included on the panel, that's another problem we got here in America, but I digress. The hotel shelter asylum seekers and also accepts bookings from customers, according to a worker who answered the phone there on Thursday. Stuart Warburton, 52, his wife Kim, 31, and mother Maureen, 80, all from the UK, said that they had been staying at the hotel for 2 weeks at the rate of $244 a night. Who's giving you the money? And found the conditions appalling. They said, quote, we booked it on Expedia and it just said JFK Airport Hotel, the Mint Hotel, JFK Airport, Warburton told the Post. He continues with, we thought that it was an airport hotel. It is absolutely disgusting in there, he continued. Now, this man that's speaking now is from the UK. He continues with, and every night between midnight and 1, you hear all these children screaming, and then their parents push them out into the hallways and lock the doors, and they leave the kids out running around and screaming and going crazy, unattended in the hallways all night. These conditions are terrible, he added. I wouldn't let my dog live here in these conditions. Panel, you say what? Can't hear you if you got a thought.
So we got we got a lot of issues there, but to me, it just seemed like, I mean, what's next? I mean, like I was telling Frank earlier today and Chaq, there's 1,000 missing children in Cleveland, Ohio. Stories like this is how these things go on. I mean, you got to talk about
Don't
it.
forget
But
the 2000 in Lahaina.
yeah, that's true too. And but stories like this need to be talked about. But I'm not gonna say people don't have the guts to talk about it. They know, or probably simply they might don't even care. Um, it's a crime what's going on with children these days.
It is.
And
It is.
you know, not a child, but the other day, I was out and I was in the other side of town, and dang, somebody said, "Hey, BJ, did you hear what happened over South Side? Not about 9 blocks where you used to live at." I said, "No, what happened? Man, they shot a man going in the bus and killed a man. The man was laying dead in the street. He's 19 years old. He getting off work for overnight shift." Then yesterday, they had a school up not too far from here, about 10 minutes down the road. They might be less, actually 7 you get on the highway. And they daggone had to shut the school down for fights. So what I'm saying is that it's a lot of infighting and things going on, and it could be, it's kind of like a degeneration of the culture, but it's also the mind is so clouded with thoughts. Like some people, like Miss Crockett has stated before. I know you're talking about the weave and stuff, but some
Well, I
people,
was just making fun of that because I know she's not
but
from here. I know her family is from
I
somewhere
got
else.
you. But like I told you, when I saw those people going in the store earlier, buy one bundle, get one free, and she might have about 8 of them. No, but some things are more important to people in life than their children. Like I had a friend of mine, he always tells me that he had a daughter, and she was 14 at the time, 13 or 14. He lived it, and his ex-wife had moved to Tennessee, and she had put him on child support. And the judge told him that's just a gift when he came to, said, "I do everything with my daughter." But he like, buying the stuff, but that's just a gift. That ain't child support. He had to pay back pay and all that. But nevertheless, it goes to show you that people say they care, but I mean, Keith Sweat even had a song, "How Deep Is Your Love?" And the children are the future. And I'm just saying the love may be very shallow for some people because they wouldn't, things like this story you reported wouldn't happen, wouldn't even be purported to happen if the love was deeper.
That's a good point. What do you guys think?
True,
Mm-hmm.
true. That's true. And this generation is, they got a lot of distractions, man, just for everybody. You see what I'm saying? So these kids, I bet I see why these kids are in la la land. You know what I mean? Because look all this type of stuff, man. All these distractions on this phone and on this, these tablets, and you know what I'm saying. And it's just a lot of this stuff is just not genuine to either. You see what I'm saying? It's just like steering them right in the wrong direction, man. It's just like you got people, pushing this voting stuff, but none of these people ain't gonna do nothing for you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You just basically voting to make these people richer, man, and make sure that their plan that they're that they're doing it goes along perfectly, man. While you kind of like stay stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
But this
Mm-hmm.
Margaret thing, man, it's been way out of control, man, way out of control. Um, they had a story to where this 11-year-old girl got hit with a bottle, whatever, by this
Yep.
like by a woman or something like
Tracy
that in
Watson,
Chicago,
Chicago.
man. So
Really?
yeah, man, it's
Yeah.
like it's just like and then, I mean, they got arrested the couple, but they just got charged with like a simple battery or something. It wouldn't. It's crazy, man. It's like when people do stuff
And
tough
they
to
didn't
us.
report a migrant, did it?
Man, nah, they didn't report on no migrants doing it. They didn't say the race of the person, people, or nothing. So it's just interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we do something and they put the race out there, they put all types of details. You know what I'm saying? And they never put anything about us being mentally, disturbed. You know what I mean? Any kind of mental nothing. It's just always we're savages. We're crime ridden. That's just in our nature. And we're just crazy savages. When they give everybody else the benefit of the doubt.
What do you attribute that to?
I think that you got to keep that stereotype going, man. You got to keep the stereotype, and you got to keep that's like the thing, that whole, we could take so much pain and we could take so much, and endure so much stuff. But I think it's the stereotype, though, man. It's like you got to make us the brunt of all types of crime. When you do that, that's when you single everybody else out and you put us in the forefront, man. That's what it seemed like to me. And it's like you just got to keep us the crime people.
Well, you know what I think it is, and I've said this before on this channel as well as Headlines with the Voice, and that is that I feel that it's because they attempt to control America with us. They use us as the whipping
Mm,
post or the whipping boy, because if you can get enough people to believe that if they speak out against whatever the agenda is, get them to believe that they are racist if they say anything opposite of what's normal common sense, that's they've met their goal. That's how I see it. I feel like every time they use us against America, we talk about it all the time, using the whole voter rights thing with us, saying, well, it's going to disenfranchise black folks and it's going to do this and that. The same thing the president just got through saying, that if the government shuts down, it's going to harm us. So that means you guys need to rally around and support them, because you don't want to be considered a racist if you speak out against this. So I just feel like it's a lot of back and forth, and it's a lot of race baiting, and it's a lot of using people against the others. And so I don't know. That's the way that I see it. What do you guys think?
same thing. I agree. That makes sense. We're the scapegoat of America. That's what that is. Like, you know,
We have been scapegoat lately, Frank.
yeah, man.
You think we have or we have not, BJ?
No, we've been scapegoat lately.
Yeah, we have been. But you know what? As I look back all the way through segregation, they used the black folks too. And I know we talk about that a lot, but I think it's because a lot of people don't talk about it. There are not a lot of channels, not a lot of people who talk about the fact that they use the black folks to push agendas on American citizens, period. There are not a lot of people who speak about that. And I'm going to keep speaking about it until the even, because I know that that's exactly what they do. And I want everybody to wake up to the fact that you don't have to shut up and calm down and be quiet because somebody is going to allegedly call you a racist. If you say, hey, man, that don't make no sense. And I'm not voting for you. And I didn't vote for you to put you in this local jurisdiction in my city or my county or in my state for you to talk like this or to push this type of agenda. Now, you take your butt back over there to Washington if you want to, and you keep doing this. I'm going to make sure that in our community, I do what I need to do to make sure that you are gone. And I believe that's the reason why I try to drive it home, so that people get enough of a spine and a backbone to say, right is right and wrong is wrong. And it doesn't matter about the color of somebody's skin. I guarantee you that the cowards that push this type of narrative are not going to be able to take it if people speak up against it. So I already know that this is not going to be monetized. Hit $1 right now for the YouTube algorithm, or hit a thumbs up if you ain't got a buck. If you ain't got 4 quarters, make sure you guys hit that like button to let the algorithm know what your thoughts are. Because if you guys don't, they're not going to push it, and they're going to be still running around here. People are going to be still using the black-white narrative, and it's not true. I'm not saying that there ain't no bad black folks, and I'm not saying that there ain't no bad white folks. What I'm telling you is we don't believe the stuff that they tell y'all we need, because there's not been a true speaker for us in forever. Everybody that you have thought has been speaking for us has been hired, brought on, propagated, propped up with marionette strings by somebody else, and it ain't been us. You have never heard anybody speak up for us unless it's in this forum.
That's true.
For 7-8 years with still 4,000 subs. And when the CERN turned on a few months ago, I got to see the real amount of subs that I had. That blew my mind. It blew my mind how many people hit the subscribe button for this channel. 83,000 people have hit the subscribe button for this channel. For whatever reason, when the CERN was turned on several months ago, it shifted something, and everybody was talking about this, a large amount of subs that they had. I was able to actually see the amount of subs that we have here, right here on the Lockhart Perspective. It was 83,000 people who literally subscribed to this channel that when you come over here, say 4,000. Ironically enough, it'll show 4,000 today, and on my side, it'll show 4,090. Then it'll show 4,100. Then they'll take that 100 back, and it'll be 4,045. Then it'll bounce back and forth between 45, 40, 45, and 4590. What am I saying? What I'm saying is there are a lot of people who think like you, who think like us. There are a lot of people who think like us. We're not an anomaly, but they want you to think that. So we want you guys to understand out there that when they're talking about voters' rights and pushing it off on us, that ain't us. When they're talking about making sure that they pass this, pass the government shutdown, forget the government shutdown and let it go through the way they want it to go through because it's going to make disenfranchised black folks, that ain't us. All the stuff that they're talking about, that is not us. And the people that they prop us up to say that's us, Kamala Harris ain't us. Her mama said on Kamala's birth certificate that she was white because in the caste that she comes from, the class that she comes from in India, girlfriend considered herself white. Why? Because of who her daddy was. And Kamala's daddy never had nobody telling them they couldn't ride the bus over here. They were both brought over here under a visa for education. And I guarantee you, girlfriend was never no AKA. I guarantee that. So don't believe the hype. Don't believe
You know what? I'm glad you said that, though, about her. You know why? Because I just realized she was at Florida International University with Fat Joe and Alexander Ramos up there. Florida International University is the largest Hispanic university in Florida, probably. Now, I think they have 32,000 students that go there out of 56,000 students.
Okay.
And she was there with Fat Joe talking about abortion, voter rights, telling Gen Z you got to vote. I'm like, oh, Fat Joe, come on, people. This is so crazy. Clown show. And Kamala's a clown, too. But You gotta watch her because she's more like a chameleon type.
Yes.
She moves around. She's able to.
Mhm.
And you talking about you saying you don't think she's a AK, right?
She's not an AKA. There's no way that an AKA would not know when you greet your sisters or your fellow soror that you're supposed to say ski wee. Ain't no way in the planet that you don't know the most annoying sound on the planet. Hello, Victor C is in with us tonight. Hello,
Well,
hello. How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you, lady?
We are exceptional. It's good to see you. So welcome,
Glad to be
welcome.
seen.
Welcome.
Yes.
Look, he said he's glad to be seen, and we giving him the whole screen.
Right.
So
Yeah,
tell
you
us
put
what
me on
brings
first
you
reading.
in tonight, sir. Do you have a topic that you would like to talk about, or you just want to
Oh,
chime in on what
I
we're chatting about?
I'm gonna follow y'all's lead, but I appreciate uh, you bringing me on. I know y'all covering some heavy topics. You got the heavy hitters on Shaq, Bernard, Frank, and so then of course yourself.
We
You always
appreciate
bring
you.
the thunder. So
Well, we
yeah.
appreciate you. So I'll be the female Thor, as it were.
Ooh.
I'll
What
be
Yes.
up,
the
Victor? What up?
Thor.
What up, man?
Victor C, what up?
What's happening, family?
Yeah, you
How
know
y'all
you.
doing?
I gotta hit him with the hammer, Victor.
You gotta
Uh
hit
oh.
it. So
I
I
gotta
just
hit him
want
with
to
the hammer.
say,
The
yeah,
news. I
Okay.
gotta drop the news on him.
there you go.
Oh,
Come on,
really?
Shaq. Bring what you got for us. Bring us
What you
your
Yeah,
got?
topics
man.
that you want to bring tonight.
Well, and sadly, this is the last day of the month, which this month is closing out, which is not getting no major awareness. It's prostate cancer awareness month, September. It gets no awareness. You know what I'm saying? We going into
Ooh.
next month, with October, which is going to be breast
Mm.
cancer awareness month.
Breast
But
cancer month starts in 2 hours. No, less than an hour. And a
I'm
half.
looking at some numbers, that I pulled up with the prostate cancer, man, and I'm just shocked
Mm-mm.
that they don't give us more information on the risk of prostate cancer, man. But this is coming from zeroprostate.com.
Okay.
Okay.
They report. So they're reporting on the fact that, well, I looked up black men or whatever. It says black and I don't know why they got black and African American men, but hey,
They know
damn,
why. They know
black
why.
and African American men,
They
damn,
know
what
why.
the hell? I thought they was the same. But look, well, nevertheless, let's continue. It says black and African American men are. Let me see. It says much more likely to develop prostate cancer. Repeat this. One. It says one in six black men will, develop prostate cancer in their lifetime. Right. Now
Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
compared to one in eight overall other men. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Now
Mm.
you could take that with a grain of salt, right? But I want to bring awareness to it because it is a, um, a serious thing that's going on because it's not talked about. First of all,
Hmm.
the treatment is not talked about. Prevention is not talked about. The um, being proactive, things you can do to be proactive. You know what I'm saying? First of all, we know when they talk about Black Lives Matter, they
Hmm.
really don't. You know what I'm saying? If you know the
Dang.
He
man,
said they
if you
really
know
don't.
it really don't, because if you know the connotation behind black and deeming somebody black in the sense that they use it, you know what I'm saying? It's very belligerent. It's very deliberate. You know what I'm saying? But we know the medical industry has not been, you know, kindly to the so-called Black Americans, aka the Aboriginal Americans, indigenous people.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? You got books on that. One book that I looked up, it was called Traits and Tendencies of the American Negro, which was authored in 1896, I think, by Franklin Hoffman. Now, when that book, it has multiple things in it, you know what I'm saying? But it was just something that I was, somebody drew me to it, a particular piece in there about how they was strategizing on the so-called American Negro, you know what I'm saying? And how, and if they use the medical field, medical industry to slightly put us at a disadvantage, maybe 20% disadvantage. You know what I'm saying? That would lead to pretty much annihilation of the American Negro. You know what I'm saying? AKA the American Indian. So, with that being said, Victor, you're at a certain age. You're a man of a certain age. Frank, you're a man of a certain age. Bernard, you're a man of a certain age. And any other person that's a male that's listening to this broadcast, may listen, please get checked out. And you don't have to let a white man with a big finger stick it inside
Lord have mercy.
Ah!
I'm just saying,
Get
they
out
got
of
a
here.
little message. This is
Bernard.
2023.
Are
Listen
you
to what I'm
saying that
saying,
to say
brother.
that there are alternative treatments or
There are
ways to
alternative
find out?
treatment.
So let's just say
Yes,
that.
yes, there is.
Can,
Oh,
can I
okay.
bring up something? Can I say about something he's saying? I got
Yeah,
this
go
chart
right
right
ahead.
here, right?
Okay.
And I went to an event like 3 months ago. Yeah, about 3 months ago. I don't know. And this was from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, right?
Okay.
And Shaq was talking about that. But and I was talking to a guy earlier today. No, not yet today, like 2 days ago.
Okay.
He was talking about glaucoma, right?
Okay.
He was saying glaucoma is basically blood sugar in your eye. But guess what I found out?
Correct.
A um I found out that people who have a lot of people, including one of the guy my mom used to date, he had prostate cancer, but he also had diabetes, which is too much sugar in the blood, right? So people who have diabetes, they can cause them prostate cancer too,
Yes.
right? So, but this paper I got, they got what is it? Your blood pressure category, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this is what how they grade it in the American medical system. We're just gonna go by what here's what
Okay.
systolic normal is less than 120, diastolic less than 80, elevated 120 to 129, and less than 80. High blood pressure, hypertension stage 1 is 130 to 139 or 80 to 89. High blood pressure, hypertension stage 2 is 140 higher or 90 or higher. And hypertensive crisis is higher than 180 and higher than 120. Now, I want to bring that up because, you know, I know my grandmother had diabetes, and
Mm-hmm.
one time they put the little thing in your hand and trick you. You
Mm-hmm.
put it on the pad. Her blood sugar was over 300, right?
Wow.
Yeah, and I never understood, when I was a child, what that really meant because I was still
Mm-hmm.
she died when I was 14 years old. But sometimes she be drooped out, she be clonked out, and I mean, even her tongue used to come out when her sugar went too high because I just face she drink a lot of Pepsi and stuff, right? I
Mm-hmm.
just
Okay. Okay.
But when I look at this stuff, prostate cancer, glaucoma, and everything, and Shaq and me always talk about it. The number one drug in the American population is sugar. Ain't no doubt
Mm-hmm.
about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's sugar, sugar, sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And and guess what? Even in your medications,
Wow.
if you go by the medications you buy, one of
Mm-hmm.
the ingredients of your medication is normally gonna be sugar.
Wow.
In a medication you buy. So when they
Well, let me
prescribe
add to
you
that.
a medicine, it's got sugar in it, most likely.
Well,
Wow.
let me add that process, Ms. Lockhart. You know what I'm saying? You may know whatever coming up. And it's called microcrystalline or something. Those
Okay.
when they do that to that particular pills, those little powder white pills,
Mm-hmm.
keep this. That is non-biodegradable. Your body cannot
Whoa.
break that down. Why you think kidney disease and liver stuff is all time high? Because does not break it down. The receptors, which you had to start going to the nephrologist to notice that it will clog up those receptors. You taking those pills, they don't dissolve like they're supposed to in your body. They don't break down. So it just builds up and clogs up those receptors, you know what I'm saying, on your kidneys.
So is that the
Now
reason
you
why
have
some
kidney
people have
problems.
high blood pressure medication? I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to ask, is that the reason possibly why some people that are taking high blood pressure medication end up with sugar, as we call it sugar?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Because it stays in the body. You can't expel it. Even the type of crystals, it's called crystalline. When they make the powder thing, it's crystallizing. So it's hard for your body to expel it. You know what I'm saying? You had to do some really deep cellular cleansing to really expel it, and you have to stop using it, first of
Wow.
all.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Yes.
So this
Yeah.
is the human body as a whole, but it definitely affects those who we all see that there are a lot of cancer. Let me just say this: there are a lot of kidney dialysis um, places
They popping up
in.
all over the place.
Yeah, I see a lot of them in, like, if you're traveling through Arizona, New Mexico, if you're going into areas where there are a lot of our people, you see a lot of those dialysis centers. I've seen a lot myself. Have you guys noticed that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I
Yep.
set up
That's
so
what we.
many that got
Absolutely.
a kidney
Have you
after
guys
7 years.
also, there's a lot of places that look, Clarita, hey, have you noticed also that there, and Vicky, I don't know whether I said hey to you, but hey, baby, do you notice that there are also a lot of places that do the what is it called when they take out the plasma? Have you noticed the high
Plasma,
amount of
yeah.
plasma centers in your
Absolutely.
own community?
Mm.
But
Absolutely.
that's because
Yeah.
us so-called black people we produce plasma. You know what I'm saying? We have when we pass or whatever we produce a high amount of plasma, man.
Well, don't all humans, or why is it mostly in our communities? What are
I
your
think
thoughts
that's
on that?
that.
Maybe
And
they want
anybody
our
in
I
the
pass
chat,
plasma.
it
that's a
twice in a
question
day.
for
It's
That's
packed.
anybody.
what
Huh?
It
It's
ain't the
packed.
only one. It's a lot of yeah,
Go ahead.
we're not the only ones in there. It's a lot of the pale people in there too. A
I don't
lot of them.
understand it. I don't get
I
it.
think Victor's right. They want our plasma though.
And
They
that-
want
let,
our
let- let me
plasma.
let me bring up
Yeah.
something to Frank and Shaq and Victor. I want to bring in some YouTube Felicia. Matter of fact,
Okay,
might
come on.
they said the woman says a lot of testosterone in here. Might need to get
Yeah.
might need to get another lady on here.
Where's that? Where
Where's
is
Miss Dawson
where's Nurse Dawson? We need Nurse Dawson here tonight.
at?
Let me call and see. Let
Yeah,
me see
call
if
and see, can she come on over and give us,
but
because it's always good to have that medical mindset. You know what I'm saying? To sort of piece some of the thoughts that we have together.
now let
Go
me
ahead,
bring this
Shaq.
up.
I mean, go ahead, King BJ.
So when I showed you that picture of Frank earlier, the center, I forgot to tell you before that. Before I even get there, you got to pass a plasma center. They got a laundromat right here. They got a McDonald's across the street. They got a hair salon across the street. A
Where's
barber
the liquor
shop.
store? Do they got a liquor store nearby?
Oh,
Liquor store
Or a
right
gun
down the block.
store. Or a
We
gun
used to
store.
make a joke. Church,
They got a dentist
motel, liquor
office.
store. Church, motel, liquor store.
They got a
You can
dentist
go to church,
office.
yeah.
you can go to the motel, you can go to liquor store. Church,
Dentist office.
motel, liquor store. You can repent and all that,
And a
and all
Jamaican
in
food
one strip.
restaurant. A dentist office, Jamaican food restaurant. That's it. They got
Hmm.
all this in this little quarter. It's like you call it like a little Southside Plaza, and the other one called the Circus Shopping Center. They got Save a Lot. I think they got a Wells Fargo, and I think they got like a little fish place. Something.
Clarita said, and drugstores.
Oh yeah, they got
Oh.
they made some new. They got an AIP building over there now. But what I'm saying is, there's a lot of them. That plasma center is right there, and I've been in that plasma center because I took somebody one time because he didn't give her plasma. So he goes in there. I said, "Why you going to him, man?" He's like, "Man, I just need some gas money, man. You know." So he's sitting there for like 30 minutes. The first thing they give you $50, then they give you $25. But you have people going there 3 to 4 times a week to give up their plasma, but you can't do it for 2 consecutive days. You can only do it
Wow.
because and they know, but it ain't gonna give you a lot of money. It ain't nothing but like $25 to $50. Like
That's what Cindy Evans is saying. They prey on Black people. They know Blacks need money, and Blacks will give the blood just to buy groceries, etc. I have a friend that gives plasma every 10 days or so to help her purchase groceries and gas. My,
Wow.
my. Oh,
Yep.
Clarita chimes in with that,
I
saying
know
yes.
guys did every 2 days,
Oh my
except
goodness.
Sunday.
Another targeting class, not to cut anyone off. Another targeting crowd that they can get into is the college students. You know what I'm saying?
College
Yep.
They go there.
students.
College students, yeah, they go in there and they do. You know what I'm saying? Plasma and stuff like that.
This is around
You
that
know.
time.
I worked in the plasma
Meanwhile, you
center.
got people coming over the border. Sometimes I feel like, you know what? I need to sharpen my Spanish because I'd like to go to the doctors. I'd like to see have a couple
Damn.
of examinations. And
Damn.
I think maybe I should go on the other side, go through Texas, come back through the border so I can get some medical attention. So I can get some stuff that they getting. So I can get me some SSI disability. I can just act cuckoo crazy or something like that. I mean, if you think about it, that's exactly what's going on with America right now. You got everybody coming over the border getting everything that we cannot get. There are people right now that are walking the streets of America that actually need tangible mental health help, and they're not able to get it. However, it does appear that people coming across the border are able to get not only Social Security, but Social Security disability if there's some type of mental health issue or challenge. What do you guys think about that? About the fact that you got places like New York, since we were on the topic of New York, that are bringing in people through the masses and trying to pretend, obviously, now that they don't want them to come back, stay home, stay home. But you feel like, gee whiz, what is really going on? Anyone?
Well, it's the Cloward and Pliven strategy.
Okay.
Overburden the system until it collapses. And I think that's what we see taking place. It's, I mean, it's sad and it's unfortunate that, our people, we continuously vote for the party that's allowing this to take place. I mean, at the end of the day, um, we have to take stock in ourselves because if we don't recognize, and I think to a great degree, a lot of people are beginning to wake up and beginning to realize that this isn't working. It never has worked for us.
Mm.
It hasn't worked for the American people. We see what they're doing, and we see the frustration and the outrage that people, whether they're Democrat, Republican, you know, conservative or liberal, or somewhere in between, you know, folks are fed up with this. But these people that are running the country, they don't care. They could care less, and it's a shame. Even when I look back to what went down in 2020, and then they came up with, well, everybody got to go get the serum. I mean, you had half of the community that wasn't feeling this. And you think the members of the Congressional Black Caucus would say, well, 40, 35, 40, 50% of melanated people don't want this. Maybe we should rethink this over with, instead of mandating that people would go get it and risk losing their jobs and, not being, in the case of Bishop, he couldn't see his mother, unless he went and got it. I mean, there's so much stuff going on. And we are the targets of the globalists because we have lived we've lived pretty good in this country. I mean, unfortunately, there are people who are sitting and waiting on the system to take care of them. But for the most of us who get out there and grind every single day, we're the targets because we buy the houses, we buy the cars, we, live pretty good. We go to the restaurants and we keep it going, keep the system going. And when these people have plotted and planned against us, they've come to the conclusion it's time to bring this to a halt. And we saw that in 2020. A lot of businesses didn't reopen. So now it's time to really bring it down. So just open the floodgates, let the people come in, put them in the system, anger the American folks. I mean, we're really being abused by the system. And I just, for the life of me, I can't understand why so many of our people feel like, they've given so much allegiance to one political party. Not to say that the Republican Party is a good party, but at the end of the day, they're not the ones who are pushing this stuff. So, it's not going to end until people wake up and recognize the left, liberals, progressives, whatever. They want to see this collapse.
And so I'm going to pose this to the panel because I've been saying for the longest, the past few months, it's almost like a parroting that I've been doing, and that is that we are under siege from within. I believe that this is war, and I felt like this is war simply because when you look at it, it has all the tenets of war. You come in, you remove all of the semblance of the country, you remove everything that looks like the country, you begin to share with the people how they need to hate the country that they're in, or to make them feel as if they've been disenfranchised or that they have been hated. And then after you do that, you bring in other people. But unfortunately, people don't realize they're bringing in people to replace the very people who are here.
Yeah.
And let me
Yeah.
say this is not a color thing in that it replaces all of us. You have people losing their jobs by in droves. You've got CBS just closing, just giving the announcement
900 stores.
of how 900 stores that they are closing. And then you've got several other places that are closing. You've got banks such as Wells Fargo that are closing even a neighborhood location near you. You've got all of these different entities that are closing down. And the more that I look at it, the more that I see they are definitely turning everybody to go towards a
Against.
couple of different locations. Now, you've got Walmart that now has Walmart online that rivals Amazon, that rivals all these other stores that are closing. As a matter of fact, if you go into your neighboring Walmart, some of the ladies here may know there was a little place where you could go get your ears pierced or your baby girl's ears pierced, which was Claire's in the mall. Now Claire's is now in Walmart. And Claire's is also available online via Walmart. So what this tells me when I think about it, there was a movie a long time ago, and I always make this reference point, and that was that do you guys remember the movie that had what's the guy's name? Not Denzel Washington. He played Blade.
Wesley Snipes.
Snipes, yes. So he
Yeah.
had another movie where Taco Bell was the place where you would go out to eat.
Demolition Man.
Demolition Man. Demolition Man had Taco Bell as a place where everybody would want to go out as a fancy place. They didn't have intercourse the way that they do now. They would just put this VR thing on their head because, it was too dirty to touch one another. So they would just put the VR thing on their head, close their eyes real tight and cross, and hope that they were able to beat the person, reaching the mountain before the other person. So you had all of that kind of stuff in that movie alone. But as we look more and more every day, they're funneling everything into just a couple of companies. What do you guys think is going on with all of these companies that are shuttering and all the people who will be without jobs, as well as the other competitor, and that is undoubtedly AI?
Ooh.
Well, let me say something that you did bring up in there. He was talking about the serum or whatever. But did you realize that what you just said, competing, they're telling these people they don't have to be traced. Actually, the word contact, right? Right, contact tracing. But it's very funny that these people don't, because the UN said they don't want to be liable in case they get hurt. So that's kind of interesting that you don't want them to be liable, but you allow people that's in a grave now because you didn't want to be. I guess you just said to hell with everybody else, right? But you want to make sure they work and they get the jobs and all the benefits and all that stuff. Now, on the other hand, what you're saying about Demolition Man and virtual reality, I'm just gonna be honest with you. We are living in a AI generated world, basically. That's what the last three letters, the 19 meant, artificial intelligence.
Wow.
In that, so we are living 19A9I. So yeah, you're living in the artificial intelligence. Let me tell you something. When I'm at the store, when I'm at somebody's house, and when you put, you got a child, what is the easiest way to make a child be quiet, Felicia, in today's time? What is the easiest way to make a child be quiet?
Well, with some of these mothers, they stick candy in their mouth or some type of food in their mouth or give them a phone.
Well, yeah, the phone, the tablet, yeah, something like that. I know children know how to work a tablet at 2 years old, 1 year old.
Yeah, my daughter gives her the phone, and I'm like, would you take that thing away from that kid? Take it away from her.
Well, let me bring something up that one of your guests brought up in chat. Have you guys discussed the October 4th test? No, but I would say this. Make
I
sure
discussed it on Headlines with the Voice earlier today.
But I guess she's talking about it.
Yeah, she's talking about tonight. Go to Headlines with the Voice. You'll hear what I had to say about it. But go ahead and let me hear what you've got to share.
All I want to say is make sure they don't have that phone and tablet at that particular time of that day. Put it like that.
I have to agree with you there. I was watching a program not long ago. I think it was last night, and there was the guy that was the attorney. I forgot his name, but and I know, Victor, you may know his name. It's a well-known attorney, and he's very forthright. He's sued a lot of different companies before, but he said it doesn't matter if you don't. If he said it does not matter if you put it in here or put it in there. There are different levels that they're going to do. They're going to be running it for so long. It won't matter what you do with that with your device because they've got different levels of X, Y, or Z. Well, here's the thing. Having heard all of that, I feel like this could be a couple of things. It could be a test to see what we would do and how we would respond so they can tweak it next time. And then it could be the real deal. But either way it goes, we already know that there's going to be something that they're doing because they don't have any control anymore. When you consider what just went on a few years ago and how everybody is really like, yeah, no, I don't think so. I'm not doing it. It didn't seem to be any different than X. And because it wasn't different than that, I'm not buying it. You're a liar. They need something to throw everybody off for 2024's election. And that's just my personal opinion. And I feel like they're going to use something to actually scatter the masses and make them go and do whatever they want them to do, whether that be having a war so that they can declare war and keep this guy that's in. Definitely a social experiment. 1 Pages 41, most assuredly. Or whether it is, other people saying, well, no, we're going to do this way. We're going to make it this way. Or nobody bought into it. So therefore, we got to do extreme measures and use Project Bluebeam to come down from the sky and make the sky Jesus. Because there's definitely a lot of people who are going to be looking for that. And there's no validity in whatever it is that they're trying to do. You guys tell me what you think about that. Am I off the rails on that?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I think the whole idea of trying to get people to go and get, the next round of injections. I saw somewhere where they were saying there was only about 20% of the people who've already gone and that have participated so far, and that the theory is people have finally caught on to what's going on, and nobody. I mean, you still see people running around here wearing the mask. You still, got people going and getting injected, but but people have seen how their lives have been upended, and so they got to do something. I mean, in order to pull off this satanic world order, I mean, they have to get the masses to capitulate, and people just not falling for it anymore. I mean, it's
Victor, let me
spiritual.
ask you,
It's
Victor, why
spiritual
is there so
war
many of us walking around with those doggone things on their face?
because we're the easiest group of people to manipulate. Y'all have heard me say this time and time and time and time again. To use the issue of racism and white supremacy is making it an excuse for everything is the thing that triggers us as a people. Understanding and knowing what we've been through, not every white person in America is against us. But even those who have tried to ally with us, they've turned us against them. And I mean, let's just think of President Trump. I mean, there is nothing the man did that was throughout his entire career, ever meant to do any harm to us as a people. Um, they lied to us about the full page ad that he took out about the Central Park Five. How many of our people actually went and read it? I read it on my program. Had nothing to, what he said about the death penalty had nothing to do with the Central Park Five. And so we fall for it because the idea of racism and white supremacy is always being used as a weapon and a tool to advance an agenda that does not include us. In fact, we see where it has gotten us. It has put us at the bottom of everything. Our women have the highest rates of abortions. We know they've targeted melanated women. Margaret Sanger said as much, that it was designed for the extermination of black folks in this country. Um, Look at education. Look at the incarceration rate, immigration. All of this stuff impacts us first because we're the easiest group of people to fall for all of the shenanigans. And not only that, but they're the ones who can get us riled up. There's a lot of people who are now beginning to see the light. And we saw it when Trump was headed into Atlanta for to be arrested and fingerprinted or for his hearing and everything. Our people are finally waking up. Is it a game? It could very well be, but by the same token, we gotta look at this thing objectively and see who is really pushing, the right type of agenda for us, and if the only way to find out if it's a bluff is to call them on their bluff. Okay, it's the only way to see who's real and who's fake. And we're not willing to call out those who have misled us for all these years. I listened to Sharpton's program, and I still cannot believe that there are people who literally believe that they got it. The idea is we got to get Biden and Kamala Harris back in office. It just boggles my mind. Even though we know, the guy who said he would wear sweatpants in the basement and run the country that way is
Which
the one
he's
that's
doing
really,
now. I totally
which
agree
is
with you.
exactly, because this dude who's masquerading as president, he's just dimly aware of his existence. But
Hmm.
you know, but this is where we are, and it's sad and it's unfortunate.
Wow, you guys. I almost hate to say this. Let me read what Cindy has to say. And I want to thank the folks who have given to the channel this evening by way of Cash App. I appreciate you. I thank you so very much. I know that I'm not able to give your names unless you tell me that I am, but I appreciate you. I just turned my phone back on to see those who had supported the channel. And if you're only able to give a thumbs up, I want to tell you that speaks volumes about what's able to go on with the channel. When you give a thumbs up, you're speaking to the algorithm, telling it that you appreciate this information going forward. I am always going to stand by and say that this particular panel is a rarity. I know that it doesn't exist anywhere else. I know that there's a lot of other people who don't know that folks like us think the way that we think and say what we say. We not only, we're not these type of people who will, drag ourselves down or beat each other up, because I'm tell you right now, I'm hard on our women. And that's just me. Everybody that knows me knows that I want us to win. And the only way for me to make us win is for me to highlight what we do wrong. But as a whole, there are not a lot of channels that speak the way that we do and speak it from a point of understanding and a point of knowledge that we researched and studied. Each and every individual that's on this channel tonight has their own channel, has their own voice in either radio or here on YouTube or both. And so I am very glad to be amongst these gentlemen that are here with us tonight. So if you can't do anything but hit a thumbs up or a thumbs down, if you don't like it, you can do that. As long as you're talking to that algorithm, letting them know one way they really like you to do it is by doing what these people have done this evening, and that is support the channel by way of funds. And that's just the way that life is. We are in a, as everybody talked about last week, capitalist society, and that's what it is. So if you decide that you do want to do a YouTube super chat, you can do that. You can do a super sticker, or you can just give a thumbs up. Anything you do, we appreciate. Cindy Evans says Black people only hate Trump because CNN, NBC, ABC, etc. told Blacks to hate him. Those media outlets brainwash Black people because Black people actually think those outlets tell the truth. Oh, wow. Let me get what
Yeah.
One Peaches 41 says. Are most of the presidents in the same family carrying the same bloodline? Have they been prepped to lead? Is this also an illusion? No, it's not an illusion at all, including every president but Trump has the same bloodline, including President Obama has the same bloodline. And there was even from our illustrious gentlemen who actually are the reason why we're all together now, which is Judge Joe Brown. He even highlighted a lot of other stuff as it relates to Obama as well as the Bush family. That's some amazing stuff that he's got going on there. Zeb Johnson gives us a thumbs up. And Cindy says, it's so sad that Black people won't think for themselves. Biden said Black people are the reasons there is problems in the United States, and Black folks still support Biden. Shaking my head, she says. Zeb Johnson said, someone ought to love people enough to tell them the truth, no matter if it hurts or not. We totally agree with you. One Peaches 41 says, you have an anointing, queen. Thanks to the all. God bless you, baby. I appreciate you. To the queen and the panel. And the panel is a blessing. Let me tell you, each and every one of these folks have enriched my life in one way or another. You guys, we are gonna have to shut it down unless you guys can keep it going without me. Joshua went to his football game today, and it was like 2.5 hours away. That team is on their way back. They've actually just text me and let me know that they are at the park. So if somebody wants to run the channel or run the panel, you guys can keep it going and we can keep talking and I can go get them and come back, or we can disband and reband for our evening show. We can pick right back up where we started and drag it on a couple of other hours. You guys let me know what you want to do and we can do that. Does anybody want to spearhead it? Huh? I know it is sort of interesting, right? It is. But I mean, you guys know how to behave. I don't mind trusting you guys with my channel. I just don't. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are like,
I'm about to turn it up. I was just about to turn it up too.
Well, if you want to turn up, you can turn up with respect. As long as I got a channel when I get back. Cindy says, blessings, good night, great job.
Well, there you go. She said good night, great job. So everybody.
But listen, we're coming back tomorrow. So if you guys want to come back, I'm definitely coming back on Sunday, and I want to have some chats. I want to give everybody the opportunity to follow some of these wonderful folks on the channel. I want to tell you guys that if you've not heard Mr. Victor C., he has an exceptional show that is on Blog Talk Radio, and it is consistent every single Sunday, and that is it's Eastern time. Is that 7:30 Eastern? 7:30 Eastern, and it's 6:30 Central. And I'm telling you, it is on point. He has some very thought-provoking guests. And if you don't mind, can you please give them, if you have that call-in channel, the call-in number, if you're going to be live tomorrow, give them quickly what your topic is tomorrow and tell them how they can find you.
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you once again for bringing me on tonight. Just got in, so I'm glad to be a part of the panel tonight. I love my brothers that are on. But tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, my blog talk show is called In Conversation With, hosted by me, yours truly, Victor C. The number to call in if you want to listen live is 563-999-3705. 563-999-3705. And I'll be there tomorrow, me and Chaq and some of the other folks. And Felicia, I hope you're able to come in. I hope we don't bump heads in terms
No, I'll be there.
Okay. Because I don't know a whole bunch about it, but Chaq and Bishop told me tonight that he wanted to be a part of the discussion. So we'll be on for 2 hours talking about, our heritage as a people. Are we the original Moors, Indian Moors of this land? We all come from Africa. It's gonna make for exciting conversation. So
you already know. I know I ain't no more. It's gonna be a good conversation.
just somebody who's indigenous to this land, I
Absolutely.
suppose. And there's conversations around it. So looking forward to it tomorrow.
So we've got that right there, 563-999-3705, Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. That's the number to call in, so that way you can be a part of Victor C's program. There it is right there. You can listen in. You can even hit the 1 if you want to have a comment or make a statement. And when you do that, tell me, let me just tell you guys, this show is a very good show, and it's headed to great places. And all I gotta say is he probably doing what he doing for very long. You're probably gonna be somebody like better than a Ricky Lake or better than
I doubt that.
better than a Donahue or better than any of those folks. Okay, you guys go on ahead and give a shout out. Who wants to be next? Before we close.
Well, I just want to say one thing that that Victor he was saying earlier. I just want to say the WF leader did say that since those other two crises, the scamdemic and climate didn't work, that the next thing they're gonna attack is the water. They say you need water to go to the football game, you need water to drink. So they said this next crisis they're gonna use the water, i.e. flooding in New York, etc. But let me just say that you can get me at King BJ Johnson on YouTube. Police has been on actually everybody's been on my channel before, so let's go ahead and keep it like that. That's that one thing. And Bernard Johnson Facebook, Bernard 1121 Instagram, and 1987 BJ1 on Twitter. Yeah, like I said, this has been an interesting panel. Actually, to tell you the truth, that's pretty cool. That you had everybody on. Chaq, I just tell you, if you're in Dallas, pay more attention to Miss Crockett because they're gonna be propping her up like they're gonna be propping her up like a porcupine props up his quills. Put it like that. But yeah, keep going.
Frank, go ahead and tell us where we can find you before we wrap it up with Chaq.
All right. Well, thanks for having me back on. I appreciate it, Felicia. It's always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure. Peace to everybody on the panel. And so, so y'all can find me on YouTube as XX Frank Nitty XX. That's my channel. Instagram Frank Jones 8115 or XX Frank Nitty XX on Instagram. Appreciate it. Salute to everybody. Salute to y'all.
All right, come on, Chaq. What you got? We know you coming with something.
Pass me the ball, coach. It's always a pleasure, man, to be on the LockhartPerspective, man, with the team, man. You know what I mean? Victor, Bernard, Frank, you know what I'm talking about? You, Ms. Lockhart, and the chat, man. Salute to the chat, man.
Oh, the chat is off the chain. The chat is undefeated.
Man, there. Oh my God,
chat is undefeated.
They're very awesome, man. I really like the chat, man. The chat do their thing, So, with that being said, you can catch me at Chaq_Edwards. That's CHAQ_Edwards at Instagram or Facebook. I do lives. You know what I'm saying? I do my talks with the universe. You know what I'm saying? You can catch my talks with the universe on my live Instagram lives. And you catch me on certain panels. Bernard panels and BJ King BJ. I be on Victor's show, your show. I be on. It's another show I be on. If you guys, I love you guys in the chat and everybody on the channel when you get a chance in the morning times. Like it's normally morning. It's like a morning show, a podcast show, like a YouTube live show, just like.
Is it on Instagram?
No, it's on YouTube. It's not
on YouTube. Get out!
Show.
Wait a minute, you guys. So you got a YouTube? We ain't know you had no YouTube.
I don't have a YouTube. No. I don't have it. I be on the panel. I be a guest sometimes on the panel. I'm more like.
Okay, got it.
You know what I'm saying? So it's more geared toward Aboriginals and American Indian history.
Okay.
Teaching a lot of really, if you really want to know a lot, Victor, you can really tune into that channel. It's called Supreme Chief Holiday. That's one of the channels.
Supreme Chief
and it's hosted
Holiday.
by Supreme Chief Holiday. Three different words. And
I went on that one time.
Also, but I brought Bernard on there. You also,
look, I'm gonna tell you something. Hey. They're going about 10 hours long sometimes. Man, I can tell you.
It's hosted by DJ Cuddy though. He's a great DJ. He's a great host.
Oh, wait a minute, DJ Cuddy, DJ Cuddy. There was a DJ a while ago named Cuddy. Same DJ.
I don't know. Where's he from?
DJ, just play that song. No, just joking. Okay, listen. Okay, we gotta have to.
He's a real DJ. He worked. Actually, he did work. He worked with you guy up there in Kansas City. What's the guy, the major rapper in Kansas City, Bernard?
I know you're talking about DJ Cuddy. I know exactly who you mean. I didn't know he had a YouTube channel. Well, listen, the executive producer of the channel has said something. He's here, Steve Willis. He said, I've only been able to hear a little from you all. A very well-considered panel, sister. I hope to be able to tune in tomorrow. You guys, we're creeping up on the time for my little baby to get off the bus, for me to go pick him up. I hope that they won. I really honestly do. It was 2 hours away. I can't drive at night. For those of you who know me personally, long distances coming from a long part of Alabama, I ain't the one to get on the road. But anyway, you didn't hear from me. I'm just going to be transparent because, well, you're family. I love each and every one of you. I want to thank each and every one of you for being with us this evening. And I want to tell all of you guys that I want you to take care of yourselves, because if you don't take care of yourselves first, nobody else is going to care. They're not going to give a rip. Everybody in the chat can tell you that. Take care of yourselves before you take care of anybody else. And I want you to remember what we always say here on any Felicia Lockhart Group publications, and that is that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High. You guys take care of yourselves, then take care of others. And until we see each other again, make sure that you do me a big favor and take care of my friend, because my friend is you. You take care. Love you. Peace.
Peace, peace. Yeah.
Peace.
Lockhart perspective.